7:13 and 7 degrees in the downtown core. Time to talk tech with Chris Abel, and we've got lots to get to. Good morning to you, Chris. I hope you're enjoying the sun wherever you're at, because here it's gorgeous.
Yes, it's been delightful. Good morning.
Yes, we have to start with it because there are a lot of interesting ones. We're going to talk pasta sauce for a very specific and bizarre reason later. But first, I think what could be a delightful story about ping-pong playing robots.
Yes, and this involves Sony. Yes, Sony, the makers of PlayStation and digital cameras, has actually created a ping-pong playing robot. Now, lots of companies have tried to make a ping-pong playing robot with various degrees of success. Sony's, however, is the one that's proving to actually win against human beings. So the way that it works is that you're on your side of the ping pong table, you got your paddle, you look over to the other side, and it's like somebody has set up a second table there. And on that table, you've got a guide system, and there's this large robotic arm that's on there with 9 cameras that knows exactly the position of the ball that you serve to it. And it can move that arm dramatically, rather quickly, to respond and then serve the ball right back at you. They've been running a number of tests, and initially, Ace, which is the name of the robot, they call it Ace, has been winning like 2/3 of its matches. And then they brought in professional players, and Ace has been defeating the professional players as well. This is a big part of it because it's also powered by artificial intelligence. So it's not just that you've got a robotic arm that's responding to really great cameras, but it also can work out different strategies. Now, what's interesting is the cameras can actually see the ball faster than the human eye. So movements that are kind of like just a blur to the human eye, the robot can see and can respond much faster. So it has that advantage. But the professional players who've kind of lost to it, they said the problem is that when you're playing against the robot, there's no emotion. So professional players often depend upon being able to read their opponent in terms of their temperament, their mood. They can gauge what kind of moves that they like and which kind of moves they don't, and what's going to be successful or not, and kind of return a serve back. You can't do that to a robot. So it's been very frustrating. The robot initially was only winning most of its matches. In the last 2 months, Sony's been putting it against professional players, and it's been winning every match.
It's an interesting story, and I'm looking at this robot, and it's not like one of these robots that you would normally imagine. It's just a giant robotic arm. So interesting that
no head, no face.
No.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite something. I want to jump ahead, though, because I want to make sure I have time for this, to this Prego story. I need explanations as to why a sauce maker is listening to us, and why did I need my pasta sauce to be listening to me? Please explain.
Okay, so this is crazy. I never would have thought of a gadget from Prego. But tomorrow on their website, at least in the United States, they're going to launch a campaign where for $20 you can buy this little puck-like device. And they say you place it in the middle of your dining room table, and then you serve your food to your family. Press a button on the puck, and it will listen in and record the conversation that everybody has throughout the meal.
Okay.
At the end of the night, if you think that it was a good conversation, you then press the button, and it'll save that conversation. They've partnered with a website called StoryCorps, which you can then post the conversation if you want to share with other people. There's also cards that come with the little puck to have conversation starters, things like that. I also like that for your $20, not only do you get the device, but it also includes a packet of spaghetti and a bottle of Prego sauce.
Okay, but there's so many questions, right? Because you said right there that you can choose to share it, but presumably the machine, is it always listening, or you have to turn it on?
You have to turn it on.
Okay.
In fact, it's kind of low tech. There's a little memory card you pop in there, and it's basically you press record, it listens, you press, and then it stops. There's no artificial intelligence. There's no Wi-Fi connection. There's no Bluetooth or anything like that. This is Prego, the sauce company. So they're just taking little first steps.
And finally, we have time for this Swedish cafe run by AI. What's going on in Sweden?
This is amazing. They thought, can an AI run your business for you? So this is an experiment. A group put together, and they decided we're going to use Gemini, which is the artificial intelligence that's on Google phones, Pixel phones. And they said, we want to start a cafe. So they said to Gemini, they gave her the name Mona, they said, what do we need to do to start a cafe? And so Mona actually picked out the logo, picked out the menu, picked out what kind of food would be served in the cafe. Mona even applied for all the various permits that are involved in terms of running the business. Then Mona decided what kind of staff should be there. And get this, Mona wrote up the job ads, published them. When people applied, Mona did the interviews and decided to hire which people to actually run the cafe. The cafe has been running for a week now. The staff there are all working for the AI. I don't know how they feel about that, but they must have been told that this is what's happening. Mona actually has been given a capital of, what was it, $32,000?
$32,600 to start things off. So we're going to have to see how far this experiment goes. Working for AI, though, I don't know how I feel about that. That is really working for the robots. Chris Abel, thank you so much for taking the time. And, we needed some lighter news today. Follow Chris Abel at Real Chris Abel on Instagram. That's KRISABEL, Real Chris Abel. Chris, thanks so much for taking the time, and happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday to you.